Here's the tea. Here's the tea. Hey guys, so today I'm coming at you with a new video, a different video. So today's gonna be a story time of which took place last year, 2018, October. Thanks, Joy, for the extra background noise. Woo. So this is gonna be like unscripted. I'm really bad at telling stories, but I hope this makes sense. But it was a really weird week. It took place during my reading week. So reading week, if you don't know, in university or in college, you have 1 week off of school. It's kind of like a March break or like a winter break for university or college students. It took place in October 2018. And basically what happened was I was just chilling in my room, and then one day my sister was like, yo, Angela, like my friend messaged me on Facebook. Not really a friend, more like acquaintance. Keyword acquaintance from high school. And she is looking for college students or post-secondary students. Experience is not a requirement. They are looking for basically post-secondary student that needs a job. And the job basically was to work at this insurance company thing. She kept saying, oh, I don't really have the details, but if you give me your number, I will send it to my employer and she'll call you and tell you the details. At the time, I had like no source of income, so I mean, when opportunities come to me, I'm always like I'm usually for it. But at this time, I was still like in university, I was still in school, and I was just like, But my sister really wanted me to go, and it was reading week anyway, so I was like, it won't hurt to try, you know? So my sister sent her acquaintance from high school my information, and then the next day, her employer, let's call her Susan, yeah, let's call her Susan. So, Susan calls me on my phone and she's like, hey, is this Angela? And I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, so I got your information from my sister's acquaintance. You know her, right? And I'm like, no, she's actually my sister's friend. I just said friend because acquaintance is too sketchy. So I said, oh yeah, she's my sister's friend from high school. Contacted my sister, and then my sister was like, here, take this job. And then she was like, just like telling me about this insurance company. What should we call the insurance company?
ABC Insurance Company.
Okay, but they don't even actually say the actual name. They said like some other name. Let's just say Alphabet, because it's like ABC, but it's Alphabet.
Okay, Alphabet.
So she's like, oh, this is Alphabet Insurance Company. And then she explains a little bit about it. She's like, have you heard of this? And I'm like, I don't know anything about insurance or life.
Or
adulting. I didn't actually say that, but yeah. And she's like, okay, well, like, when are you available? We would like to set up an interview right away because we are in dire need of new workers because we are really busy and we just like need people. And I'm like, oh yeah, Thursday's okay. I have class in the morning, but after class I can come over. And then she was like, yeah, that's great. Here's the address, la la. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'll see you then. So basically, I live not in Toronto, and then I take the train to school downtown Toronto. Where this office was located, it was close to my old house, like really close to my old house. Like it's literally walking distance from my old house. It's literally going from like out of town, going downtown, and going uptown. It's like so far. Yeah, after class, I actually wore business clothes to class. And then after class, I took the subway and then like 2 buses just to get to this office. And then I get to the office. Oh, I'll walk in. It's like on the 2nd floor, so I go up the elevator. I'm like, doesn't look sketchy. Like, it looks really official and legit. I'm not gonna lie, this company is pretty legit. It's just that it was kind of just weird the way they do things. And then what happened was I walk in for my interview and I'm just like sitting there, and like the secretary dude is like, hey, like are you here for an interview? I'm like, yeah, I'm here for Susan. And they're like, yeah, I'll call her right over. And then like he left and he came back. He's like they were playing like some funny like song on the radio. It was like some funny song. I'm just like, okay, like the vibes here are pretty chill. Like the secretary guy was pretty chill. And I was like feeling like less nervous. He was so chill. Like he's like, what's your ethnicity? I'm like, Filipino. He's like, what? I thought you were like Korean. I'm like, Korean? Yeah, that was just off topic. And then Susan, like after literally like 30 minutes, she comes. She's like, hi. I'm like sorry. Like I came early because I just like left right after school, and never be late on your interviews, right? I'm in for this interview. She comes. She's like, hey, let's go. And we go to this room. It's not really an office room. It was just like some room with a whiteboard and then a table, a round table. And then like this interview was so weird. It was weird. In the beginning, yeah, she was like, oh, so like, do you have any like experience? Like, what are you studying in school right now? I'm just like, oh, I'm doing graphic design, trying to like get to know me a bit. And she's like, well, like, do you have any like skills and like stuff like that? I'm just like, well, like, I did like office duty in elementary school. That's the most like customer service I did. And then she's like, okay. And then after, literally, she goes on for like 2 hours talking to me about what this company is, or this insurance company is. She finally gives me the actual real name of this company, which is, let's say, ABC Insurance Company. She finally gives me that, and then she's like, how good this company is, how much money she makes, like within a short amount of time versus like an actual normal job, and how like you need like a government license or whatever to work here, and it's good for your resume, la 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 la. And I'm like, wow, like this seems such a like a cool like opportunity. And she's like, the only reason why we're like accepting you is because you know this person personally. I'm like, totally, I totally know her. And then she was like, just like going on and on and on about this company and how amazing this company is. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, it sounds kind of cool. And then she goes off to say, to obtain this license, this government license, you have to attend these classes. And the fees is like $100 something, I think. It was like $100 something, $130 or something. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Like, I will totally do that. Like, a government license would be so good on my resume. La la, right? La 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 la. She takes my resume. Finally, at like literally the end of the interview, and then like she's making me fill out all these forms and stuff. My birthday is in November, and this happened in October. Thank God this happened in October. And then I was 17 at the time. I was not 18 yet, right? So basically I wasn't allowed to even work there yet. I had to turn 18. So what happened was, she was like, okay, like just fill out this form. I didn't fill out like the credit card or debit card thing to make the payment for the classes or anything. I just filled out like my basic info or whatever. And then she's like, once you turn 18, we'll send your info to like the government or whatever for an approval and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. And she's like, in the meanwhile, come often, come for the meetings and like get to know everything. You'll get a head start. And she's like, it's actually gonna go so great for you, la la. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like, and she's like, do you have any questions? And I'm like, yeah, so like what exactly am I doing? Like, she never explained to me what I'm doing. Like, all she talked about was how good this company is and like how good this is for your resume. And she didn't tell me what exactly I'll be doing, right? And then she was like, well, like, for the beginning, all you're gonna be doing is just sitting and watching, taking notes. That's all. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, okay, but like after, like, what is like my actual job? Like, what I'm supposed to be doing? I didn't want to ask, cause like I didn't want to be like, and I didn't even ask either how much money we get paid or like the payment info, right? Which is like what a lot of people want to know, right? Like, I don't even know the answer to that. But then like I just like left it at that. I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll understand later. And she's like, okay, if you can come tomorrow, which is like, it was a Friday, and I didn't have school on Fridays at the time. She's like, can you come tomorrow on Friday for our meeting? Our meeting is at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. I had to bust there. I had so much dedication. I was like, you know what? Maybe God is doing this for me. Like, like this girl, this random girl just comes up to my sister, offers her a job. My sister's like, I already have a job. Angela, you take it. And then I come here. I went through all this effort just to come to this meeting. I was just like, okay, I'll just like stick through. I have a lot of willpower. I will do this. I can do this, right? The next day, I wake up at like 6 in the morning. I left at 7 in the morning. I took, how many buses was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 buses! I took 5 buses to get, was it 5? I think it was 5.
Count them.
I think so. I just counted it. I think it's 5. I took 5 buses to get there. And that's 2 bus fares because I don't live in Toronto, okay? I got there. I get there early. I actually get there early. I get there like 30 minutes before it actually started. Waiting for the meeting to start. She made me like talk to a bunch of like people in the office, and I was like, hi, like I'm young, I'm 17. They're all like, you're so lucky to be working here while you're young. Like, you have so much time. I'm old and withering. And I was like, damn, dude. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. The people there were so nice. The vibes there was really chill. Like, it was like my expectations coming into the office. I was like, oh, it's an office, right? Like an insurance company. Nerve-wracking because I'm like, oh, like what if it's serious? I don't like serious people. Serious people scare me. And then like they ended up being super chill. Like so chill that like before the meetings we had like this dance. I'll insert a video, but I'm gonna have to blur it. Tasha's in the video. I'll explain that later. We'll get to that. Yeah, we do like these dances and exercises before the meeting. And yeah, so then during the meeting, we all like sit in like rows. It's like in this room, there's like this whiteboard and then like projector and then like this person's talking stand and then like people like giving presentations. I had no idea what was happening because like, I don't know anything about business. Susan was like, there's a lot of other young people here as well, but like they have school, so like they're gonna come like on the other days. You'll meet them on the other days. I'm like, okay. So I'm like there with a bunch of like older people, literally the youngest person there. So during the meetings, all they talked about was like, so like there's like two different halves. So the first half of the meeting was them just like having like a scenario with a client, how they like solve their issues. They solve like the problems like with the insurance or whatever, and then the second half is literally just like talking about how great the company is. Again, they just talk about how great the company is, just like my interview. I'm just like, okay, like I'm convinced it's pretty cool. And like they were talking about how like you can win a trip to Cuba or whatever it was. I forgot where it was. You recruit. Keyword recruit. Recruit a lot of people, like this X amount of people. Get a ticket ballot into the raffle to see if you win a trip to Cuba, and all these people get to go. It's like a week trip or whatever for free. Everything paid for, all expenses paid for. And I'm just like, well, that's pretty cool. I want to go on a trip. So basically, that's how like the meetings went. That was basically it for the first day. After that meeting on the first day, that was over for me, and she said I could leave. And then the second day, I had to come back again on Saturday. On the second day, we had the meeting, and then after we had like our little team meeting. During that time, I also met like a bunch of like younger people, so people around my age. There's this guy, let's call him, give me a guy name.
Robert.
So there's this guy named Robert, and he's like 2 years older than me. He was there for like, I think a month before I came, and he's basically the one who's supposed to train me for whatever it is. Because at this point, I still didn't know what I was doing. Like, I didn't really understand what I was supposed to be doing. So at this point, there was no actual schedule. Like I would just come and they would tell me like, this is what you have to do today, la la la. I never knew how long I was staying. And the thing was, like, my mom like waited for me in the parking lot that whole time just because I didn't know how long I would take. It was so frustrating. So after the meeting, I'm with Robert, right? That's his name, Robert. Robert, training. And what he told me to do was, I had my notebook with my notes from the meetings. He's like, okay, take out your phone and then go through your contact list. Write down 50 names with phone numbers and write down like their age and what they do. Like if they're a student, if they're married, or if they have a job. And I'm like, okay. I did not know why I was doing this. I had no idea. I was just like, okay, I'll do this. I guess. So then I just like wrote down all these names. During this time, all my friends knew that I was at this like insurance company working, and they're like, yo, like I need a job, like if you get the opportunity, can you like refer me, la la. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So like I had a part of me that thought that was it. Yeah, I wrote a bunch of names. For me, I had my contacts list since I was like grade 8, grade 9, and I don't talk to like 90% of the people on my contact list. So I was really uncomfortable writing all their names down, and it was just really weird. And then he also said, oh, like, do you have any like titos or titas? Tito and tita is like aunts and uncles in Tagalog, basically. Oh yeah, he's Filipino. And yeah, he's like, do you have like any tito or titas that you can write down their names? And I'm like, no, I don't have like any of their names on my phone. And he's like, okay, like you can like message them on Facebook or anything, like just like write them down. I didn't have 50 names because I don't know people. I'm not popular. I don't have friends. Like, you expect me to know 50 people? What the heck? So I just really struggled. Like literally, I was sitting there for like an hour trying to like write down names on this piece of paper. After like an hour, I had an office tour or whatever, so they gave me an office tour. The office is really small, so like there's not much to see anyways. But yeah, I had an office tour with like these grown men. They're like 40-year-old people, like this 40-year-old guy, this 60-year-old guy, and then this like 20-year-old guy trying to like get a job. And I'm just there like my 17-year-old self awkwardly like, okay, I'm a child. They know I'm a child. They're all like skeptical at asking themselves why I'm there. And then after that office tour with these grown men, we had to talk to the guy who owns that office. He's basically like the head, and then we're all like these people.
CEO.
we met the main guy and we're just like the little pawns at the bottom. All these grown men were like asking all these questions about like stocks and stuff. I'm just like, I don't understand anything. I'm 17. And they were all kind of looking at me like, why are you here? You're like a child. You look 12. Like you look like you're 12. And like this was before I even wore makeup like this. Like all I wore was like eyeliner and then like filled in my eyebrows and that was it. I look like a child. And then after that, I was able to leave. And then I came back again on the Monday. We did not have a meeting on the Monday. Yeah, but I had training. So this time I didn't have Robert with me. It was Susan. Susan was the one who trained me. So she told me, pull out the list of names. And then I pulled them out. And she's like, okay, so today we're going to be calling these people. I'm like, okay, why? And then she's like, we want to like give them the opportunity to work here, right? Like it's such a good opportunity. Again, talking about how great working there is, right? So I'm like, okay, okay. Me clearly nervous. And then she gave me like this sheet of paper with a script on how to recruit my friends. A script. So there's like a script for people who are close to you, a script for people like that you're not so close to. There's like a script for like different scenarios and I had to like copy that. And like for me, I can't act for my life. I don't know how to act. And then I had to like practice it. And what the script said, it was exactly how my sister's friend recruited me. First of all, not saying the actual like legit name of the company, but like some other alternate name that is similar to the name. So that's why I said like, for example, it's actually called ABC Insurance Company or whatever. So I wasn't allowed to say the actual real name of the company. If they ask questions, just say, oh, ask Susan. Ask Susan when she calls you. We're not allowed to like give out too much information because I don't actually know. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's true. I don't know what I'm freaking doing. I'm just doing this because you're telling me to. For example, this is how recruiting my friend would have went. Hi, Joy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
How's school? Wasn't it your birthday like last week?
It actually was.
Damn, I missed him. Such a bad friend. Anyways, so I'm actually working at this office. It is finance-based office, and like my employer is like looking to hire people because like we're running out of like workers or whatever. This is a really bad example of how this would went, but like whatever. So yeah, we're like looking for like post-secondary students who don't have a job. No, there's no like experience needed at all. Wanna join me?
Sure. Where is it? How much are you paid?
Well, like it's actually like in Narnia. Actually, I'm not sure about the actual like details about your position in this job, but I could give my employer your phone number and she can like gladly call you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, just text me your info and yeah, expect a call like in a few hours or a few days. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that's how that went. That's how like I'm somewhat supposed to like recruit people. Usually they do it over text instead of calling, but on this particular day I had to call them because they desperately needed people for some reason. So what happened was I had my list of somewhat 50 people, and then she was like, okay, like choose someone on the list that you're really close to. And then I chose Tasha, obviously. Yeah, I called Tasha and I'm just like, it was so sketch because I called her on my phone.
Your phone?
Yeah, she made me call her on my phone and then like she took it and then she talked to her on my phone. Tasha was like, yeah, oh my gosh, just thank you so much. Like, yeah, so I booked a interview with Tasha. And then after that, she's like, okay, next person. I'm like, the fuck? We called Jessica. She was the one who talked again. And we called my friend Jerome. She was the one who called again. But like, she called on her phone, on her actual phone. And then she was like, hi, like, Angela, like, is friends with you. And she like thought that you're a really, really hardworking person and you would fit for this job. And like, you're really responsible and stuff like that. She told me that you're responsible and stuff. Like, literally like being so nice. And I was like, damn. And then that's how like that went. And then like she'd be like, oh yeah, actually I'm right here. I'm here with Angela right now. Do you want to talk to her? And like she gave me her phone. I was like, hi. And then Jerome was like, oh my god, Angela, thank you so much. And I'm like, ha ha ha, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, thanks. Bye, you're welcome. So that's what happened. And then I ran out of close friends because I have like 4. And then she was like, okay, so next person. I guess next person. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, oh, what about this person? points to a random number on my list. Like, again, I told you, I don't know anyone on my list. The most people that I have on my list are people I haven't talked to since grade 9. She made me call a random person on my list. And that person was someone I had awkward ties with in high school. It was really awkward. I don't want to talk about it too much. But this time, guess what? She wasn't even the one who had to call. She made me call him.
Yikes.
I love my life. I was like, hello, hi, how are you? You know, the basic things of greeting a friend that you haven't talked to and is really awkward since high school. I was really nervous. I kept stuttering. I kept looking at the list and I sounded really monotone reading the freaking script. Apparently I was saying things wrong and then she it was so creepy because she was like a really happy person, like literally everyone else working there. And then during that time, she had the straightest face. And then she was writing to me upside down because she was facing me and she's sending me a note on the paper, writing upside down. I forgot what she wrote, but she had the straightest face. She's just writing. And I'm just okay, and I read her note and I said it out loud, whatever. And then and he was okay, I don't know if I can. And I was like, okay, fine, just let me know, see ya. Hangs up and she's telling me all the things I did wrong. I'm just okay, I'm so bad. Anxiety literally just eating me alive at this moment
in time.
In this moment in time.
Gosh darn it, I made you sing.
I know. Anyways, I was it's okay if I leave. My mom's here. And she's okay. And then, yeah, I left. And then she's just text me if any more people are willing to, la la. During that night, I got 2 more people to give me numbers and to give to her, whatever. And she booked their interviews, so I had a total of 5 interviews. And then the next day, Jessica bailed because parents were hell no, this is kind of sketchy, what the heck. And her uncle worked at a insurance company and said that they didn't pay well and it was a waste of time and just don't work here. So I felt really discouraged because I was am I doing something wrong? This was the first strike and thought of me thinking, I'm oh, am I doing something wrong? But yeah, I was okay, you know what, whatever. And then I told my employer Susan that Jessica is no longer going to do the interview. And then that's when again she had that straight face and was she was oh, why would her parents do that? They're just robbing her of her of a good opportunity. They're making her become less successful. Literally getting so mad. I'm just oh my god. I'm dude, calm down. It's not that serious. So I'm there for another meeting. Meeting's over, and then that's when all my friends are coming in. That's the same day that all my friends are coming in for their interview. Tasha comes in. I was told to stay in the room with her while she was doing the interview, so literally I was writing down notes of what they were saying. It went well, and then they're okay, you can come back on the next day. She made the payment already because she's 18. And then Jerome comes. I'm there taking notes. Literally a script. Their interviews are a script. There was 2 different people who did the interviews, and the script was the same. Everything they said was the same. I remember everything that they said because I had to write everything that they said down, and I had to sit there with them during the interview. Jerome, he makes the payment, and then the last one of my friends that I actually haven't talked to in a long time, acquaintance. My acquaintance. We're friends, I guess. Same thing, same script, interview. She gives her information because she's over 18. She gives the money or whatever, the payment for the classes, and that's that. And then at the end of that day, I was asking Robin, is that his name? Robin? No, Robert. Robert. I was asking Robert, I was yo, do you know why exactly I'm doing, I have to recruit people? This is the first time he actually answered a question, okay? After all my questions. I have a hard time asking questions because I don't want to sound stupid. So I'm okay, why exactly am I bringing all these people? And he's well, there's this thing called 30 by 30. If you bring in 30 people for an interview and then get 30 people to sign up or whatever, you get a ballot in for the trip that they were talking about. And I was oh, okay. And that's what they were really pushing me to do, to get 30 people in. And I also asked about how you get paid, and he didn't answer. He's oh, ask Susan. And I'm I don't really want to ask her because she kind of scares me a bit. And then I was okay, whatever, I'll figure it out. And then later that day, guess what happens? Tasha, her boyfriend Ryan was actually supposed to come in for an interview that night, but he canceled because they did deep research into this company. They dug up like a lot of dirt, saying like it's not like ethical with their workers, I guess you could say. I don't know how to explain it. I was so convinced at the time. I was so convinced it was an amazing company. I was like so convinced that like my opportunity there is so good. Like they literally brainwashed me. Here's the tea. Brainwashed me. I felt so like broken. I felt really close to like some of the people there, and like they were really nice, but like, you know, people are fake sometimes. And that's the tea. I'm so dumb for not doing my own research. I literally just like took what they said firsthand, because it kind of adds up. Like everything that like Tasha and her boyfriend Ryan said to me added up. It all added up. Like how like all the interviews are the same, how like during the interviews they just talk about how good the company is, how like I don't really understand anything that's going on, and I'm just like bringing in people like my friends and stuff, and like how they're pushing you to like bring in people so much. Like it was crazy. And yeah, I was like really like upset because like I felt like I wasted people's time. After Ryan canceled, Jerome texted me saying that his parents got mad at him because of they said that it's like sketchy. Like and then my other friend, she was saying how like her parents got mad as well. And I'm like, okay, if Jessica's parents and Jerome's parents and Amy's parents and Ryan's and Tasha's extensive research are saying something, that means something. That kind of went off in my head, like maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe they're actually like brainwashing me. Tasha was convinced I was brainwashed by a cult. She was convinced. So I do my own research, and they send me all the links to like all the articles talking about, and like I watched a bunch of YouTube videos of their experience at the same companies I went to. And literally the YouTube videos that I watched, they're people from America. I'm in Canada, and they had the exact same experience that I had so far, and like, but the only difference is that they actually stayed until they started working. I didn't, and I'm just like, that says something. At that point I was like, okay, maybe it's not good to work here. But I had like a schedule the next day. My schedule the next day was to bring Tasha in, like help her train and whatever. Tasha was like the only person who didn't cancel, even though she knew that I was brainwashed by a cult. No, I'm joking. She knew I was brainwashed. Despite everything, she still came for me because like,
she's a good friend.
She is a good friend, and that's the tea. Our schedule was meeting, bring Tasha in, like help train, whatever, and then my mom was actually supposed to come in to see the office. And let me say,
this is the real tea.
This is coffee. That is iced coffee, actually. No, iced cap. That is malted. Literally throughout the whole week. This took place during a whole week. Just 1 week. My reading week. I could have stayed home and done homework. But no, I chose to do this because I was like, money. Money blinds you. Anyways, throughout the whole week, she was like really pushing to bring my mom in for some reason. She's like, oh, we just really want to like tell your mom that like everything that we're doing here is right, and like we're not like some like cult. Cult. We're not a cult. Basically just to show your mom around the office and show her what we're doing here. And I'm like, okay. And then being there for like a week throughout the meetings and like throughout all the scenarios of how they deal with clients, I learned that what they do is they connect with you, you know? Like they connect with the clients. So I told her, I was like, okay, this was before I realized it was a cult. Okay, it was not a cult, but like this was before that. I finally convinced my mom to come in, and my mom made it clear. She's like, okay, like I don't like, the only thing, I'll only come only if they don't ask me like personal questions, because I don't want to talk about personal things. Like she doesn't have an intention of like giving her life stories to these people that she doesn't know, right? She's not comfortable with that, and I get it. So I made sure, I was like, okay, like yeah, my mom can come on this day. The only thing that we're asking is like you don't ask personal questions. And then she was like, okay, like yeah, we're just gonna be showing your mom around the office. That's and show her like what we do here, and that's all. That's it. Basically, that's it. That's it, she said. That day comes. I know it's my last day. I'm like, okay, I finally film us dancing because I'm like, YOLO, don't care. We do the meeting, literally 2 hours, so long, and then we split into our groups, and then we like, yeah. And then Tasha, being the angel she is, pretends that she's so interested in this company. Tasha goes through this whole long-ass process of training. And by the way, the guy that was training me, what's his name?
Robert.
Don't remember his name because I don't care. Tasha actually knows him. Tasha actually knew him because a long time ago he was in some sketchy thing again and was trying to recruit her and her sister in like something like their plans failed or whatever, and like he owed her food, I think. Food or money, don't remember, but something like that. And the whole time Tasha was like, he's so familiar, and like we searched him up on Facebook like while we were like waiting or something. She's like, yo, I actually know him. I'm like, ah. She confronted him. She's like, oh, I know you know Nicole, like her sister. And she's like, oh yeah, like the fakest oh yeah in my life, like I can act better than you. And I'm terrible at acting. Terrible. That was like a side story. And then yeah, Tasha goes through her training and then she leaves. She sees my mom. She's like, oh my god, hi tita. And then yeah, my mom comes in for our interview thing or whatever, and then we do this whole like the same thing that I did, like the office tour or whatever, and then we literally spend like 3 hours talking in Susan's office. And then Susan's like, yeah, so like this is what we're doing, like do you know, like literally doing like the whole, like not the whole interview thing, but like a part of it, a portion of it, like the portion of like talking about how good the company is and what they do, you know. And she explained that all to her. And then after that she started getting like really like personal, and then that's when that like red flags in my brain go off. I'm just like, I told you not to get personal. And then she started like getting all personal, getting all up in my mom's business, and then it gets to a point where my mom got really like stressed out and like started crying. And then like I got so cheesed in my head, like I don't want to start anything, so I'm like I'm just like there, like I'm like, oh it's okay, like comforting my mom, and inside I'm just like, I'm so mad at you, why did you do that? After that whole thing, like literally she was just trying to sell my mom insurance. That's what she was trying to do this whole time. I knew it that she was just gonna try to sell my mom insurance, and that's what she tried to do at the end. And like during the whole process, like her phone was on the table like this. Her like font text size is really big, so I could like literally read whatever is on like her phone. And like I know Tasha was gonna like resign or whatever, and I see Tasha's text and I told her, I was like, yo, like text her like at like late at night, like at like 9 or something. It was 6. I had literally read, Tasha, why did you send that? It's gonna be so awkward now. And then like literally I was just texting her under the table like this. So after she tried to sell my mom insurance and tried to get my mom to work for them, she was also trying to get her to work for them. Her other main goal was to get my mom to work for them, so then all of the people I recruit can go under her name, just because I wasn't 18 yet. They just want the money. But then my mom was just like looking at me, she's just like, what do you think? I'm just like, oh, we'll think about it. Let's try to get at it, because my older sister is over 18. I was like, let's just try to get at it. At it is basically honorifics for older sister in Tagalog, if you didn't know. But yeah, I was like, let's just try to get at it to work here. I was just trying to like not get my mom to like, do anything we would regret. We ended up leaving on a note where it was like, we'll just let you know. So we were going down, after we left, we were going down like the elevator, and my mom's like, are you gonna come back here? I'm like, no. And she's like, okay. She's like, okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna come back. And I was like, oh, Tasha resigned. I saw on her phone. She's like, oh, lol. Lol.
What did she say about like all like the personal things? Was she, like,
yeah, my mom.
Or, like,
no, she didn't get. Mommy didn't get mad at me. She was like really. She was more like upset at Susan because even after I told her not to talk about personal things, she did. And then later that day, or it was already nighttime, but like before I even got home, Susan texted me. She's like, I didn't reply. I didn't reply to her, and I think she knew. She understood. I think she knew that why I didn't reply. Because the story is not over yet. So basically I didn't really have to officially resign because I didn't like really give in like any of my credit card information. I just like gave in like my information, so they couldn't really like send in my application, right? So I didn't really lose anything. But the only issue, the big issue, was my friends, because the people who went to the interview gave in their information, their credit card information, and paid for the classes, and they needed to get that money back and resign, right? So I was really stressed out because I felt so bad, but like my friends are so nice and they like told me that like it wasn't my fault, but I still felt so bad because like I should have known. Like I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Like I felt like it was like my fault because like I was so convinced that it was a good company and all. So yeah, we had to go through that whole process, and they ended up getting their money back. I ended up going one last time with Tasha because she wanted to get her money back, and I did. Obviously I had to go with her. Like I don't want her to go by herself, and like she asked me to go with her anyway, so I was like, yeah, of course I'll go with you. And I was literally so scared. I was like shaking. I was like, oh my god, why am I coming back here? I never want to come back here again. Susan comes in and she literally ignores me the whole time. Oh yeah, and by the way, Robert, he texted me before I even like came on that day. He was like, oh, like when are you coming back to the office? And I'm like, but yeah, when we went, Susan literally ignored me the whole time. Like she didn't even look at me. She only like acknowledged Tasha because Tasha is the only one who actually had real business there. And I was there, and then like I just like followed them to wherever, and I just like sat with them. And then like she was like being so nice to Tasha, and I was just like, I'm mad at you. But I was just like at this point I was like, whatever, like don't need to put in this like negative energy. After this, it's over. And yeah, basically that was like the last time I went to the office, talked to his name again, Robert. Oh my god, I keep forgetting his name. Robert. And yeah, that was basically the story of how I worked at a sketchy insurance company for a week. On top of all of this,
you didn't get paid.
I didn't get paid. I wasted all my time. I really thought I would have. On Google it's like, yeah, you have to get like paid for training, like they have to employers have to pay for your time, stuff like that, right?
But you had to pay.
I was there for hours during my waiting week, and I spent bus fare and time to get there, and I didn't get nothing. I got $0. I got nothing.
You got negative dollars.
And it was moral of the story. I love having moral of the story at the end of life lessons. Lesson number 1. If someone recruits you that like you haven't talked to like since high school, someone like you just don't know offers you a job, it's probably a scheme. A scam. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. Number 3, if there's a lot of red flags setting you off, don't go through with it. Go with your gut, honestly, and listen to your family and friends. Another thing that was really sketchy about this whole thing is like they preached a lot about saying how like, oh, like in this business you lose a lot of friends. Like you like know who your real friends are. Oh, like you have to always surround yourself with people like us, like who are like really like hardworking and like pushes you to be better. Basically saying like if your friends unfriend you for trying to recruit them to this scam, I don't want to say it. Yeah, if they unfriend you for recruiting you, don't be mad about it because we're your friends. Basically, it's a cult. I'm not even joking. I was brainwashed, not gonna lie. It was kind of scary. But yeah, that's basically my story. A lot of life lessons learned and time wasted, money not earned. But you know what? It was still interesting to be working in like a placement like that. It was kind of working. I'm really also glad and really thankful that I was still underage at the time because I didn't really have to like go through that whole process of losing $100. I still feel so bad that my friends wasted like $100 because was it $100? I think it was $100, I don't remember, because of me, and then they had to like get it back. I keep like extending this outro. That's my story. Hope you guys enjoyed my unfortunate events in my life, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Oh yeah, if you have like any like similar stories, I would love to learn, like to read them. Leave them down in the comments. I like reading stories like people's misfortunes. No, I'm joking. But yeah, see you guys next time. Bye!
I want you to be your